Losing peer connections after retirement, an opening note of reflection. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, when was the last time you laughed freely with an old friend, without rushing, without work distractions, without phone notifications? And then, when did you realize one by one, those friends started to fade from your daily conversations, even from your life? Today, let's sit together and talk about one of the quietest losses in retirement, losing peer connections. Not to mourn, but to rediscover meaning and perhaps open new doors to warmer, more mindful relationships. Because loss is not the end, but the starting point for growth. Together. Hello, I'm Ordinary People, your online neighbor and fellow retiree. I'm not here as an all-knowing expert, but as a companion on this journey. Drawing from the wisdom of remarkable minds like Dr. Robert Waldinger, Dr. Lavra Karstensen, and others who have dedicated their lives to understanding human connection and meaning. Especially in later life, we'll explore the emotional landscape of losing peer friendships after retirement. The awakening moment. In retirement, many of us face an invisible struggle, the quiet fading of our social circles. The colleagues we shared daily routines with, the Saturday tennis partners, or the warm, "How are you?" messages. These connections often diminish, leaving a silence that can feel deeply isolating. But today, we will explore how this loss is not a closure, but an invitation to create new, meaningful relationships. Together, we will learn about the science behind social connections, discover practical strategies to rebuild our social lives, and find hope in the possibility of growing new friendships that nourish our hearts and minds. This journey is about reclaiming joy, purpose, and belonging in this beautiful new chapter of life. The Awakening of Curiosity. Dr. Robert Waldinger, who leads the Harvard Study of Adult Development, a research project spanning over 80 years, has uncovered a profound truth. The warmth and quality of our relationships are the greatest predictors of happiness and long-term health. It's not our achievements or wealth, but the people we hold close that shape our well-being. In retirement, many of us lose what Dr. Waldinger calls our default social circles. The daily interactions with coworkers, casual chats, shared routines, these dissolve. Dr. Lavra Karstensen's socio-emotional selectivity theory complements this insight by explaining that as we age, our social goals shift. We prioritize deeper, more meaningful connections over the quantity of acquaintances. This shift is both a challenge and an opportunity. It invites us to be intentional about who we invite into our lives, to seek relationships that bring warmth, trust, and mutual care. But it also requires courage, because building new connections after decades of familiar ties can feel daunting. Dr. Ken Dykewald, a leading expert on aging, reminds us that retirement is not an ending, but a transition, a chance to rewrite our social story with new characters and chapters. Understanding these scientific insights helps us see that loneliness and loss are natural parts of this journey, but they are not the final destination. Insight 1. Creating new social circles with intention. One of the most powerful ways to face the loss of peer friendships is to create new social circles with intention and awareness. Unlike the friendships formed by chance during our working years, now we have the freedom to choose relationships based on shared values, interests, and emotional resonance. Dr. Lavra Karstensen highlights that in later life, quality trumps quantity. This is an opportunity to cultivate friendships that truly nourish our spirits. Start by exploring communities that align with your passions: book clubs, yoga classes, spiritual groups, or volunteer organizations. Practical steps include reaching out to one new person at a time, without pressure for instant connection. Sometimes, a simple message to an old friend can rekindle a relationship. As Dr. Richard Leider puts it, the best people are not those closest in proximity, but those who make us feel seen and valued. Building new friendships takes patience and vulnerability, but the rewards are profound. A renewed sense of belonging and emotional warmth that counteracts the silence left by lost peers. Insight 2. nurturing meaning through contribution. Loss of friends can sometimes feel like a loss of meaning. Yet, meaning often grows from the act of giving rather than receiving. Dr. Becca Levy's research shows that older adults who maintain a positive view of aging and feel needed tend to live longer, healthier lives. Contributing to others can be a powerful antidote to loneliness and loss. This might look like mentoring younger generations, volunteering for causes close to your heart, or simply opening your home for small, warm gatherings. Dr. Ken Dykewald reminds us, contribution expands life, not just extends it. When we share our wisdom and time, we create new connections and deepen our sense of purpose. Practical ideas include joining local volunteer groups, starting a mentorship circle, or hosting regular meetups with neighbors or friends. These acts of giving not only enrich others, but also nurture your own emotional well-being. Insight 3. Embracing grief and building new hope. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg emphasizes that transition is at the heart of retirement. Every transition begins with acknowledging what has been lost. Friends who have passed or drifted away are not just names, but chapters in our life story. It's natural to grieve. Tears are part of healing. But it's important not to linger too long in sorrow. After grief, we can choose to continue our story, perhaps different, but still rich with meaning. Practical ways to honor loss include writing letters to friends who have passed, creating small rituals like lighting a candle, listening to a favorite song, or sharing stories about them with others. Then, gently open your heart to new souls. Life is not about replacing what's lost, but growing something new from that loss. Insight 4. Cultivating emotional resilience through mindfulness and reflection. Facing the emotional challenges of retirement requires emotional resilience, the ability to adapt and bounce back. Mindfulness and reflective practices can support this resilience by helping us stay grounded in the present, acknowledge our feelings, and cultivate inner peace. Dr. Mo Wang's research on retirement adjustment highlights that retirees who engage in mindfulness and self-reflection report better emotional health and greater satisfaction. Simple practices like daily meditation, journaling, or mindful walking can help us process emotions, reduce anxiety, and foster a deeper connection to ourselves. As Dr. Richard Leider suggests, knowing yourself deeply is the foundation for meaningful relationships with others. When we nurture our inner world, we become better equipped to build and sustain fulfilling connections. Insight 5. Engaging in lifelong learning and new experiences. Retirement offers a unique opportunity to engage in lifelong learning and new experiences, which can spark new friendships and reignite our passion for life. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg encouraged retirees to see retirement as a time of possibility and growth. Learning new skills, exploring hobbies, or traveling can open doors to vibrant social interactions. Joining classes, workshops, or travel groups introduces us to people with shared interests and fresh perspectives. These experiences not only enrich our minds, but also expand our social networks. As Dr. Ken Dykewald says, curiosity and growth are antidotes to stagnation. Embracing new adventures helps us stay connected, energized, and hopeful. The Final Light, delving deeper into the science of aging and social connection. Dr. Becca Levy's work on age stereotypes reveals how our beliefs about aging influence our health and social engagement. Positive perceptions of aging can buffer against loneliness and promote active social lives. Dr. Mo Wang's longitudinal studies show that retirees who actively seek social engagement and maintain positive attitudes experience better cognitive function and emotional well-being over time. Moreover, neuroplasticity research indicates that our brains remain adaptable well into later life. This means we can continue to build new neural pathways through social interaction, learning, and emotional growth. Understanding these findings empowers us to approach retirement not as a decline, but as a dynamic phase rich with potential for connection, learning, and emotional fulfillment. From knowing to becoming dear friends, Losing peer friendships in retirement is not the end of our social lives. It is an invitation to deepen our relationships with others, with community, and with ourselves. That empty chair at your coffee table doesn't have to stay empty. We can fill it with new meaning, new faces, and new joy. As Dr. Mo Wang reminds us, adaptation after retirement is not about survival alone, but about growth. We are no longer who we were, but we get to choose who we become. Let us embrace this new chapter with hope, curiosity, and kindness toward ourselves. The journey of connection and meaning continues, and it is never too late to start anew. Until the next reflection as we close today's conversation, I invite you to ponder this. What if the quiet loss of old friendships is actually a gentle nudge toward discovering new relationships that resonate more deeply with who you are now? I encourage you to take one small step today, reach out to a friend, join a new group, or simply reflect on what kind of connections you want to nurture in this next phase of life. Remember, as George Bernard Shaw beautifully said, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Let's keep playing in relationships, in meaning, and in life. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'm Ordinary People, your online neighbor and fellow traveler. Let's stay connected, because none of us are truly alone on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Tag a friend who has been part of your journey or someone you love to reconnect with. Together, let's celebrate the enduring power of friendship.